I'm hitting record, and I like that you gotta keep my standards high, Jared. That's good. At least one of us has high standards.
We've been doing this podcast for so long. At what point should I expect a higher caliber of joke from my partner?
That's true, dude. I mean, we used to do Chad's joke of the pod, and I would say they were overwhelmingly Jaius's. If y'all don't remember what that untranslatable means, it's like a joke so bad that you laugh, right?
Are you asking me?
I'm seeing if you remember.
Yes.
I believe that's what it means, but we've done so many untranslatables, dude. It's hard to keep track of them all.
Yeah, I forget them all immediately. I can't keep track of any of them.
Dude, I don't even
you are
remember
right
what
about
we talked about for the last episode. Nice. Well, good. I'm glad that some of this is being retained, Jared. That's good. After all these years, you'd think something would slip.
I don't need any of it. Nothing during this podcast is below my mind. It's fine.
Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable podcast. We are here today to talk about movie genres and foreign films. So if you are curious about what different movie genres might be popular in different countries, also what our thoughts are on some different movie genres, and if you're new to foreign films, we're going to talk about some foreign films that you can check out at some point to become a little bit more cultured, one step closer to becoming a bit more untranslatable, as they say. So we're looking forward to today's episode, and should be a fun one today. So I could not do this without my good buddy and my co-host. What's going on, Jared?
Hi, Chad. I've come prepared. I over the weekend had some boots on the ground movie theater experience for the first time since this whole pandemic started.
Oh, nice.
And really, the only reason I went to this movie was I didn't realize it was coming out until like a week ago. And I was like, maybe I'll go watch this movie. Why not?
Was it Batman?
It was Batman. I saw Batman.
Oh, nice.
Pretty dope. It was pretty dope. It was cool. I like this. I like this Robert Pattinson Batman. He's darker. I feel like that's what something about culture enjoys the darkness. I feel like more these days. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm also just talking out of my ass. But he's not like even like the Joker went darker with this new one with what Phoenix, is that his name?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
that was really dark, dude. The Joker.
He's darker. That was a darker. Even though obviously the Joker before that was plenty effed up. They went with a more like emotional angle to this new one around the darkness of it, with this new Joker, and I feel like it's a similar move with the Batman too. I liked it though. I'm not saying it was bad or anything. I enjoyed it. John Turturro was in the movie. I wasn't expecting that. Always loved John Turturro. I mean, he's great in everything. Who are some Zoey Kravitz? I mean, come on.
Oh, nice. I didn't know she was in the movie.
Yeah, she's Catwoman.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you think? She'd have some? No, of course she. But it was interesting. I know a commercial before this movie was for some DC movie that they're coming out with, like Avengers-esque DC movie that they're coming out with.
Okay.
Zoey Kravitz is in
Justice League.
I don't know if they called it that, but Zoey Kravitz is in a great TV show. I did watch that show back in the day. Zoey Kravitz was in it as Catwoman. Jason Momoa in it as Aquaman.
Aquaman, yep. I did enjoy that. I thought he did pretty good as Aquaman.
I never watched that movie. It didn't interest me in the slightest. The reason I bring it up is because I was racking my brain the whole time and actually never did the research, but I guess it's true. I'm pretty sure I'm right. That's interesting showing up to set when that's your mom's ex-husband.
Yeah.
That's not her dad, though. Her dad is Lenny, right, Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet. That made Zoey Kravitz. And so now she's showing up to set to work on a movie with her ex-stepdad.
Yeah. It's an interesting dynamic for sure.
That's all I thought about when I saw that commercial. I was like, wait, aren't they? There's some relation there. I did that little
what kind of family tree is this?
Mental math in my head while I was sitting there.
Right. You know why I watched Aquaman, Jared?
Why? Because Jason Momoa's stunning body.
Yes, that, and it was one of those instances where I was on a plane to Germany and I needed to watch some movies.
Yeah. I only
dude. I feel like that could be an episode in itself. Plane
movies.
Movies.
I mean, I'll watch anything on a fucking plane. I confidently explained to you the full plot of whatever that movie was.
Was it Coco?
No. I watched that movie. That movie with where Bradley Cooper's the drunk country singer.
Oh, A Star Is Born.
Yeah. I watched that all just by looking over the person's screen next to me, and I'm like, I'm gonna listen to my podcast.
Spot on too.
I'm like, I get it. I get it.
Right?
I get it. She's getting better than him and more popular, and he's not liking that he's losing popularity and he's drinking more and blah 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 blah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I didn't need to watch it. I felt like I saw it, but anyway, yeah.
Right. Sure.
I don't think though I represent the typical American moviegoer experience because I generally I don't get popcorn. Sometimes I will. And I'm not a candy person really in general, but this time I brought 2 of these. Here, I have them right here. I can show you. These Ritz peanut butter crackers.
Okay.
And I just put them in my pocket, and the whole time I was self-conscious about how...
That's some real grandpa shit right there, Jared.
Yeah,
bringing some fucking crackers with you to the movie
I should have done
theater.
like Charlie brought some spaghetti.
Right? Oh, yes, dude. Just put it in your bomber jacket pocket, dude. The spaghetti.
But I was even... And it's so funny, too. Even more grandpa-ish than the Ritz crackers that I'm sneaking in is the fact that, I put them in my pocket, and I was so self-conscious about the crinkling. I'm like, someone's going to accost me and be like, sir, what's that crinkling in your pocket? Obviously, no one gave a shit.
Right.
And I didn't even.
It's just a CVS receipt, sir.
And I should have had that in my other pocket.
There you go.
But
Next time.
I brought them in, snuck them in, didn't even eat them.
Oh no, that's hilarious.
Snuck them back out, and but I watched the movie and it was good. I liked it. It was good. And I
would have loved to see you with the same level of anxiety as you're trying to sneak the Ritz crackers back out, looking around like, oh no, I hope they don't hear the crinkles.
I less worried on the way out because I already got the experience has already been.
Yeah,
had.
what are they going to do? Kick you out?
I would have been a little annoyed though if they took them and threw them
anyways.
away though. That would have annoyed me a little bit. If they're going to take them, at least eat them on your break or something.
That'd be hilarious if they confiscate your crackers and eat them right in front of you.
Yeah, Jesus, it's like some prison tactic.
Making eye contact right the whole time. So how did it feel though, Jared, to go back to the movies? Because the last movie I saw actually was Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yeah,
and that was the first time I've been to the movies since the pandemic, and it's kind of a weird experience. That was a good one to see in theaters.
Now that I saw the movie, I missed it. I love like Saturday at like 12, 1 in the afternoon, just by myself, go to the movie theater. This one I saw at noon. It was great.
Okay,
I love it. It's a great week. I love it, and I missed it. I haven't even really paid attention to movies that have come out and since I mean a few that are like on like I saw Tenet. I didn't know what the hell was going on the whole time. Couldn't explain that movie to you at all. I have seen some movies, but nothing in the theater since then. So I like the experience. It was good. Although I don't know, I'm kind of annoyed with the like the seats are almost kind of mandatory. Like you gotta like recline them and do the like because if you keep them upright, then they're just like too upright. But then
if comfortable.
But then you can't partially go back because then your legs are like partially up, so you're like sliding off the thing.
Right.
So it's like you're forcing me either to sit
crinkling up your crackers.
You're forcing. I put them in the cup holder. I was prepared.
There you go.
You're forcing me either to sit perfectly upright or like fully recline. It's just. But but the movie was good. It was good. It was pretty good. It wasn't mind blowing, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was worth it. I mean, it was $8, bro. It was so cheap.
I think it would be cool to see like Batman in like more of a darker sense, because like the Christian Bale one, it's epic, but it's more of like
cinematography.
Yeah, and and I almost get gonna take out my nerd hat real quick here, Jared. I almost get like slight like Bildungsroman vibes. That's a German word for like a story where you like kind of coming of age type of story, right? And I feel
this
like
feels more like that actually. This feels more
really?
like a coming of age story.
Oh, cool.
Well, because it gets more into his family life, and it gets more into his parents, and he comes off. I don't know what the age difference is between those two when the movies were made, but he comes off as a younger Batman.
Right.
Like he feels like my age. Christian Bale, I mean, granted, I guess when those movies came out it was 10 years ago, so obviously he didn't feel like he was 20. But like Christian Bale felt like he was like in his 40s, Mm-hmm. And I like those too. But I'm just saying this one feels more like someone my age, like coming to terms with their, rich family,
their existence
that you sort of idolized.
Sure. I'm excited, dude. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, it is super dark though, and not even in like a effed up way. Just like it's like emo, like it's super like
okay,
like he's like super like emo. Not emo is like what we call it in high school, but it would be like
Well, I was gonna say, dude, that appeals directly to our generation. I know so many people who had such an emo phase when
it's
we
like
were
he both has like emotes very little, but also is clearly very sad the whole time.
Kind of broody. Is he like Jon Snow, broody?
I've never watched Game of Thrones.
Okay.
But he's certainly just like, you can't really like, he never says anything really, but he's also clearly always very sad.
Sure.
And he's clearly fighting something inside. And you know what I do like about it? I'm a big fan of like crime stories, or like like a whodunit kind of crime thing. And there's some of that. I mean, there's always been that in Batman. But what I like about it in this one is that he has like the film noir like inner monologue going on.
Oh,
I enjoy that.
Okay.
I enjoy that aspect. Oh Jesus, sorry.
Nice.
I enjoy that. I enjoy that aspect. The inner monologue. In hearing that.
Oh, for sure.
And it gives you that sort of like, Sin City reminds me of that movie Sin City. I used to like that movie.
Oh, that's a great movie.
That sort of, I like that inner monologue vibe. It gives you that like a hard-boiled detective vibe.
And it's also, to me, then obviously I haven't seen the movie yet, but to me, I think that gives you a different angle than like your stereotypical superhero movie, which I think is kind of cool, right? Because, I mean, I feel like the superhero genre in general is, at this point, we're beating a dead horse. Because, there are hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of superhero movies.
I'm so glad that this Batman did not tell us like the story or not like explicitly show us the story of the parents dying. Like, we get it. They got shot outside the back of the
in the alley.
Yeah, the alley behind the opera house or whatever. We get it. We don't need to constantly rehash and so but the way the story goes, it's all about his family, so it's obvious that his family is dead.
Right, sure.
But so the way that the story centers more around the family in general means you don't really have to make it clear the story of them getting shot in the alley. So it is good that they found a way to do that. But no, it was good. I liked it. And yeah,
nice.
Batman, the Batman and sort of Jokerish series, they always do it. I always enjoy that they do a good job of like also. Oh well, I'm not gonna ruin. I'm just ruining spoilers.
Yeah, no spoiler alerts here,
because you do actually plan out. Sometimes I
want to see it.
Sometimes I just happily tell you spoilers because I'm like, you're never gonna watch this damn movie.
Right.
But this
one,
you
I'm
probably
gonna go
will.
see this one. Yep. I might even invite you to come with me to go see it in the theaters.
I
Jared.
actually do it. I'll come because
let's do it.
Something, I don't know if this is my brain or if this is just, I don't know what this is, but sometimes with the names, like there's a lot of conversation, and so sometimes I'm like, wait, who's that person again? Like I understand you're talking about one of these few people, but it's very crucial that I know which one you're talking about. You're like, blah, blah. And they have like all these like Italian names, so it's like,
okay.
So it's like I get them all mixed up, and I'm like, wait, hold on, which guy are we talking about right now?
I feel like that's just Jared at parties in general. Wait, who's that guy again?
I'm not good with names though, so that might just be me.
I will say, dude, I think working as a teacher for as long as I have has definitely helped me with the names.
That could be beforehand possible.
Yeah, because beforehand I was also super bad with them. I'm not great either, but I do a much better job now.
Yeah, but the teacher is a job where you don't have a choice but to exercise that. Like, you can't be a teacher for...
Well, and I want to, because I think there's something different when you actually address your student by their name instead of being like, hey, you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I can't...
Hey, guy. Hey, girl.
I can't, name a specific teacher, but there have definitely been moments in all stages of school where I'm like, damn, this person got the name this quick?
Right.
Like, this is class 3, and you're just pointing us out and calling our names confidently. Right. It's impressive.
You know what's crazy, though, dude? So I've been teaching my German 101 class, and I have memorized all my students' names, but it's all on Zoom.
Yeah,
so on the one hand, right, technically I don't, but it's so funny, dude.
It probably makes it a lot easier to learn the names when you're
It does, 'cause
constantly
you
looking
see-
at them in their
exactly.
name and face rather than just one
Exactly.
time. So
which is really
you
nice.
both don't need it that much, and it also makes it a lot easier to learn their names.
Yep. But yeah. Well, dude, I think we should get into some quick shout-outs. I would have a lot of them, but I'm just going to give a couple today.
What do you mean you would have a lot of them?
Well, I could do a whole episode of shout-outs because a couple of my shout-outs here are going to be based on the war in Ukraine right now. So the first one, I don't know if you've heard about this, Jared, but people around the world are actually booking Airbnbs in Ukraine. And then what they're doing is the people in the Ukraine are able to use that money to help them out during this crazy situation right now, which I think that is such a genius plan. Now, obviously, folks are looking and making sure when they book these Airbnbs that they are actual, people, not like some big like corporation that holds a bunch of Airbnbs throughout the city of Kyiv, for example. But I don't know, man. I love to see all the different acts of solidarity right now. All over the place. Like it's really something to see how folks have banded together with everything happening in the Ukraine right now. And every little bit certainly helps. I mean, I can't even imagine what it must be like to, be in the Ukraine right now. And it's amazing too to see these people, Jared, who are, putting up arms and fighting for their country. The fact that their president stayed there, I think is also pretty wild. I think Biden even offered him, he could come to the States, and the president was like, I don't need a ride, I need ammunition. Which, if that's not like a baller thing to say, I don't know what is.
Oh, sorry. Is it my turn?
Well, I don't know if you had anything to say.
I mean, I concur. I agree.
But yeah, so I think it's awesome though that people have been looking at different ways to help folks out. So big shout out to all the people out there who are helping out in any way they can, especially via Airbnb, which I think is awesome. My other shout out goes out to all the bordering countries of the Ukraine right now, because they have done such an awesome job with all the refugees coming in. I don't know if you saw this, Jared, but in the EU, they're going to grant all Ukrainian refugees basically like 3 years of status, kind of like no questions asked, which I think is awesome. I don't know, man, it's really humbling to see the world react in this way. And I don't think, Putin expected something like this to happen. I think he really thought that this would be a fairly easy, because he even just called it a special military operation, like almost like it's not even a big deal. Whereas, clearly the Ukrainians, they've been putting up a fight. I think there's a lot of praise that they deserve for defending their country and helping out their fellow countrymen and women. And, also just seeing NATO and the EU back them up as well. And I just hope that people will be able to be safe and there will be peace again sometime soon. But it's pretty crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
pretty crazy stuff. All right, well, should we get into some untranslatables, Jared?
Let's
that
do
is
it, dude.
Our namesake and what we are best known for. And untranslatables are idioms, sayings, proverbs, axioms that don't always translate on a one-to-one basis into English. And I'm going to get us started this evening or today or whenever you're listening to this. I'm going to get us started with some Austrian German and also Swiss German untranslatables. This first one is, I'm going to give you the Swiss German first, Jared, and then I'll also give you the Austrian one. It's the same meaning, just with different animals. So here we go. And I'm not going to try to pronounce this in a Swiss German accent because I don't even know how I would begin with
what
that.
that is.
So here we go. Etwas für die Füchse machen. And the Austrian German would be etwas für die Fische machen.
To do something for the fish?
And to do something, yeah. That's the Austrian one, etwas für die Füchse machen.
Fox, I'm guessing? Just by
Yes,
context
very good.
clues?
Yeah.
I don't actually know. Okay.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, do something for the foxes or do something for the fishes.
Is that like a I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of thing? Funny
Not
thing about
quite,
that
Jared.
is my back, because look, you remember that from Superbad?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, that movie is something else. Oh, man, that movie is something else.
Oh, God. Anyway, speaking of... wow. I guess it's fitting, though. I'm quoting a movie. That's what this episode's about.
That's
that
true.
was all planned. Anyway, go ahead.
Let me see if I. So here, Jared.
Something for the fishes or something for the foxes?
Yep.
Is that like, let me throw you a bone? Let me help you out. Here, let me.
Not
give you
even
a
close.
hand.
In this case, you would not want to throw them a bone.
They're
For example,
insulting
Jared,
you?
let's just say, no, not quite. No, let's just say.
You're killing them for the fishes. That's like what the mafia people say.
You're not killing them.
Gonna swim with the fishes.
No, that's not what this means. Let me give
Throw
you an
over
example.
the harbor. Talking a little too much.
Jimmy Hoffa, that's not what it is. All right. So let me give you a clue. Say you came over to my place for New Year's Eve and I said, Jared, don't you worry. I'm going to fry us up some great fried chicken and we're going to have an amazing evening. And you come over, and because I am a terrible cook.
I was going to say, I wouldn't even, I'd already be like,
because I'm a terrible cook, this fried chicken comes out and it is burnt to a crisp. And I would say, well, that's something for the foxes. Or that's something for the fishes.
We got to scrap it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It means you make something, but something goes wrong, so nobody needs or can use what you made.
And for the record, I would definitely come over if you said that, but I'd probably eat a little something beforehand. I wouldn't come over completely. I'm not coming over starving.
Right. Well, maybe that would work in your favor, dude. It's so bad. It's like, well, I'm starving. I guess I'll eat this.
I guess so. Or is that working out in my favor? Desperation.
No, that works out in my favor to not be offended. is how that works, Jared. Although I wouldn't be offended. That's okay. I know very well where I stand with my cooking skills.
This is interesting. This is very interesting. My first untranslatable is Afrikaans. And it's Jikrap met een kort stokje aan grut leo zebal. Too long. That's what I've learned. Too long. Scratch a lion's bull with a short stick.
Is that like to poke the bear?
How would that's an English untranslatable?
Like basically like purposefully provoke someone a little bit so they react usually.
I'll give you that. Yeah, to push one's luck or to be arrogant.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Scratch a lion's bull with a short stick.
That makes sense. You do got to be a little bit arrogant and slightly crazy to try that.
Yeah. Sometimes, have you ever seen those videos of people that like, usually they're like in, I don't know, like, the Middle East or somewhere, and they're like super rich and they're
petting
exotic,
like a tiger.
Yeah. And there's like driving down the road in their Land Cruiser or G-Wagon
with their cheetah sitting in the passenger seat. Yep. Oh yeah. I've seen those for sure.
I'm like, without a doubt. Ridiculous. Yeah. I don't think we ever brought that up in our flexing episode.
I think we did.
Did we?
I think we actually did. Yeah. I think we did. I'm pretty sure we talked about exotic pets or something.
G-Wagon with a with a freaking lion in your passenger seat.
Exactly. That's flexing right there. Let me give you another one, Jared. Mine is, this one is, I believe this one, well, actually, no, I think this one's Austrian. Das Glück ist ein Vogel.
The luck is a bird.
Or in proper German, das Glück ist ein Vögelchen.
The luck is a young bird.
Little bird.
Yes. Not young, little it would be.
Yeah, luck or happiness is a little bird.
It's like it's like luck is a fleeting thing and you should embrace it when it comes.
Wow, Jared.
That's beautiful.
This is amazing. I literally have that happiness is fleeting on my description.
Mm-hmm.
Good work, good sir. You deserve a couple of ham horns for that one, my dude.
Oh man, I just here.
There we go.
Just out of random, I was curious what the word of the day was, and I was like, let me look up what this word of the day is. All right, I got it. Anyway, it's milieu. If you're curious, do you know what milieu means?
Oh, there we go. Isn't that like your level or like a? No. I've heard the word before. What does it mean?
It actually is fitting for this episode. I should have saved it for a little bit later. It kind of has something to do with Batman was going for a certain milieu, so the city always looked dirty and dangerous. Setting in which something occurs is what it is.
Okay,
so you were wrong, but I didn't feel like going round and round.
That's fair.
Another Afrikaans untranslatable for me. This one is shorter. Thank God for me. Wors, W-O-R-S. I'm trying to figure out how to do that S. Wors.
Wors?
Wordt in die Hundestall zoek.
Something about the where the dogs are? The dog pen?
Wordt. Oh, you should know it. Wurst. Maybe.
Wurst?
In die Hundestall zoek. That last
sausage
one,
in the dog
might
pen?
lose you at the end. Yeah, that's essentially, yeah. Oh, zoek is the verb, I see. Search for a sausage in a dog stable. So zoek is search.
Okay.
And,
suchen. Okay.
And Hundestall is
dog pen? Or?
Yeah, you got that part.
Okay.
Search for a
is that
sausage
like
in a dog pen.
It's like a needle in a haystack, right?
I guess so. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that,
Right?
Perfect. Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're not going to find a sausage in a dog pen.
Exactly.
You're gonna eat it.
Exactly.
It's gone.
Exactly.
It's gone.
Yeah,
I mean-
because the same result is you're not going to find it, whatever you're looking for.
Exactly.
You know what I
Exactly.
prefer to play? Search for the hay in the needle stack.
There you go.
Classic
There you go.
SpongeBob reference right there.
Yep. I remember that one. That's a good episode for sure. Let me give you one last one, Jared. This one is also Austrian, and it is Der hat hier kein Label. And Label is Austrian German for T-shirt.
Really?
Der hat hier kein Label.
He has no T-shirt here.
Yep. He doesn't have a shirt here or a T-shirt.
It's like
here.
you don't have a leg to stand on.
Which means?
Like you're out of your depths.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
I
Basically,
can
what it means
realize
is
I'm
you
on
don't
it.
have a chance.
Okay.
That's what it means. You have no chance.
I gotcha.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
For sure. You have no chance.
That's how
Well,
it feels
Jared-
watching Batman sometimes, you know? No matter how
Okay,
much ass he
sure.
kicks, it almost feels like he has no chance, you know?
There you go. I thought it would be fun today, Jared, to start off our kind of, topical discussion with a quick little word association game.
Okay.
So I want to give you some different genres, and I want you to give me like the first 2-3 words that come to mind per genre. Are you ready?
Sure.
Alrighty. Rom-com, romantic comedy.
Ooh. Judd Apatow. I don't know. That's the I'm trying my best. But that's fair. That's a popular. He makes rom-coms.
I think he does. Yeah, he's been in quite.
And if not, if not, it's word association. It doesn't. There's no right answer.
You got any others? Any other words?
Oh, more
that you
than
associate
one.
with
I'm
rom-com?
sorry. I had already moved on mentally in my head. Yeah, I can keep going though. Rom-com. Back to rom-com.
Yeah. Give me a couple more.
I think of Ashton Kutcher.
Oh,
I
okay.
see. Wow, who's that guy?
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson. I see
Wow.
J-Lo. I see. I see Will Smith. I see Eva Mendes.
Yeah,
I know
okay.
these are all characters. But that's how I'm just thinking of movies though. That's how I'm
Right.
thinking.
Sure.
I'm thinking of
Sure.
popular rom-com movies.
You know
in
what
my
comes
head.
to my mind when it comes to rom-com, Jared?
What's that?
Cheesy.
Yeah, break up. They're breaking up at some point.
Oh, yes.
There's some
Obviously
argument.
some drama.
Yeah. Some
Yep,
point they
yep,
break
some
up
drama.
and they have to come over some sort of breakup. Yeah, that's for sure. There's always some sort of the dudes, especially always, or even the woman sometimes always has a dopey friend. There's always a dopey friend.
Yep. Also, there's
That's
always some inappropriate level of physicality.
You know, one of my favorite dopey friends, rest in peace, is Philip Seymour Hoffman. What's that movie with Ben Stiller where he's the
Meet the Fockers?
No, where he's the risk manager guy.
Oh, Along Came Polly.
Yes.
Yes,
That movie
dude,
is not
that's-
even the best
yeah.
rom-com to me, but Philip Seymour Hoffman as Ben Stiller's friend is one of the greatest sidekick roles ever.
Oh, it's
on the
hilarious.
basketball
I
court
just
where
sharted.
he keeps missing everything.
Oh, brick. Yeah. And the sweaty dude just like shit takes a jump shot all up in his grill. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a classic movie.
With such a good character.
Doesn't Jennifer Aniston have like ferrets
No, it's
in
not
that movie
Jennifer
or something?
Aniston. It's not Jennifer Aniston. I can't think of her name.
Is it not?
No. It's definitely
Okay.
not. But I can look it up.
Along Came Polly.
It's definitely not
while
Jennifer Aniston.
While you look that up, though, Jared, I want to give us another genre.
Oh, it is
and
Jennifer Aniston.
I'll give it.
But she's not the one with ferrets,
I
is
thought
she?
so.
Oh, it is
thought
Jennifer
so, yeah.
Aniston. Damn.
Yeah, see?
Wow, you were
See?
right. Wow. All right. Anyway.
All right, new genre, Jared.
Yeah.
New genre.
Okay.
Horror.
Violence.
Okay.
Scary.
Yep.
Saw.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger.
Let's play a game.
Funny. Black person dying first.
Oh yeah, no kidding, dude.
Or fat person, one of those two. Either fat or black person.
If you're a fat black
first.
person,
yeah,
it's game over.
It's over.
Yeah.
You start that movie like, damn.
Right? You already know.
While they're still having fun at the beach, you're like, damn, they're gonna get Clarence.
Yep. And isn't there usually like one of the hot girls is like usually one of the ones to go to or something?
Yeah, maybe. That's a bold one though. Maybe like the dumb, like sort of like the bullyish, sort of like dumb hot chick.
Exactly. At least I'm thinking of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think that's what happened there. For me, what I'd associate with horror movies is like gore for sure. Yeah. Also, the like jump scares. I hate those.
Yeah.
Well, I hate them, but I love them at the same time.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Yeah.
You know, I associate that with like the movie Airplane, you know, the comedy Airplane. Like where it's like the comedy is so like ridiculous and in your face, and it's sort of the same concept to me as like those sort of scary movies that do that.
Sure.
Rely heavily on that tactic. And it's not even they just scare you. It's even less, it's more the noise. Like it's the the sudden loud noise more than even what you're seeing.
Yeah. Right. Well, dude, if you ever watch a horror movie on like mute, it's not even scary.
No, they're more probably comedies more at that point.
Right. Yeah, for
Especially
sure.
like some of those dude, I bet you it would be pretty funny to watch like a like one of the Exorcist kind of movies on mute. Because those definitely rely on jump scares. I mean, they all do. And then also, you know, the possessed people say the most ridiculous stuff. You know?
They do. That's true. That is
so.
Very,
just in
very
isolation,
true.
Just seeing them be like, "I'm gonna fuck your mother," you know, "You're a bitch," you know.
Right.
It's like, this is just funny now.
And then you could also try to like read their lips and come up with like ridiculous shit that they're saying.
Yeah.
You know, like those voiceover dub videos on YouTube and stuff.
So, that's actually a good one. Is exorcism is a big one. I'd say that's a popular genre. Woods, being in the woods.
Yep.
Is a popular. That's a popular one too.
Usually on some type of vacation and or moving
that's like
into
teens
a new house.
or like like college kids go into like camping for spring break or something.
Yep.
Oh, we should have just go to Panama City. No, this is going to be fun. You know, blah blah blah's grandpa has this mansion out in upstate.
Right. And there's just nobody around for miles.
This door creaks open. This place is kind of weird. It's fine. Right. What are you talking about? This isn't scary. And then they're drinking, you know, having a good time.
Right.
And then they're like,
one of them disappears.
Did you hear that? Nah, everything's fine. Yeah. And then someone disappears.
Yep.
Okay, give me another one. This is fun. I like this.
Right. Action.
Ooh. Personally, one of my favorites. I want to talk about our favorite genres, but personally, one of my favorites. I think about fighting. Like technical fighting. I think of explosions. I think of fast cars.
Yep.
I think of running.
Also like car chases too.
Yes, car chases. Specifically, Tom Cruise running is something I think of.
Okay.
Because every time you see Tom Cruise running, you're like, oh, there's another $10 million in the box office and another million in Tom Cruise's pocket.
Yep. And when's the explosion going to happen while he's running? Exactly. Exactly.
I picture a hot woman that's also usually there's the damsel in distress approach, but I prefer personally like the also for some reason can handle herself approach, whatever that reason might be. And there's some sort of like spies. I guess these are all spy specific. But spies crossing in the night, but definitely guns. Oh, we didn't even mention guns.
Oh, right. Not only guns, but like just badass like weaponry skills. Like you're like using a sword to deflect bullets or something.
Good special effects. We mentioned horror and we mentioned rom-com. I think rom-com doesn't really need special effects for the most part, unless you're horror is a different kind of special effects. That's more
for sure.
But like because horror, I think I feel like it's better if it's like like people making masks and making like it's not even really about necessarily the violence of it, but like the making of the scary thing, and that is an art in itself. But
for sure,
the pure like special effects of explosions,
like car flips and explosions.
I can't spoil it, but obviously there's cars in there's a car chase in Batman.
Sure, of course there is.
And there's ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. but they're all ridiculous.
Nice. well, yeah, that's why it's so much fun
None
to
of
watch.
them are realistic. One of my favorite movie series is the Bourne ones, and I remember that there's a couple. There's one with the Mini Cooper where they drive through the city, driving down stairs and steps. Then there's one where he's in like a Russian taxi from like the 80s that he's like running into like cars, and at the very end it's just like a tin can, you know?
Oh man.
So yeah, definitely car chases. That's all I got for that one.
Okay.
There's I got one more thing. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite podcasts, the Blackout Tips. Rod, he coined a term called "impossible white man," and it's essentially an action movie term. And it doesn't have to be a white man.
So a white man that just can't be killed.
Doesn't have to be a white
main
man.
character who can't be killed.
Doesn't have to be a white man, but it originated from like Tom Cruise. And that sort of character. That's where the term comes from. But it could be
I
any
feel like
sort
that's
of...
also like Denzel Washington in The Equalizer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
any sort of main character where it's like it's based in reality. It's not a superhero movie, but
they can't
the
be
way
killed.
they're fighting and killing people is impossible. And it's and so it does. Angelina Jolie's done them. It doesn't have to be a white man.
Sure.
It's just that's Tom Cruise is sort of like the goat of them.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Matt Damon.
So yeah, that's all I got in action movies. I got to put that in there.
Okay.
Shout out to Rod.
Sure.
That's not mine, but I love it.
I definitely, when I think of action movies, one person that comes to my mind like almost instantaneously is Jackie Chan.
Oh yeah.
And obviously Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker with Rush Hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All
That's
right,
a
what
mix,
about
though.
comedy, Jared?
Comedy, okay. Also, Judd Apatow, Seth Rogen.
Okay.
I think of farts. I think of poop. I think of like sex. I think of like penises. Like not like when I say nudity, not the good kind. Like flopping penises running through like the middle of the street or something.
Or like an old school where
exactly
Will
a flopping
just
penis
streaking.
running in the middle of the street.
Exactly.
Not the good kind of nudity. Funny nudity. I think of comedians, obviously.
Right. Well, I think there's like two lanes with comedies, right? You have like a comedy movie, and then you have stand-up comedy, right?
Yes.
So,
but there's crossover. Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, Kevin James.
Right.
So there's a lot of crossover there.
Did Adam Sandler ever do stand-up?
I think a little bit, but I don't think that's his forte. I don't think that's his forte. Well, there's a bunch we're not thinking of for sure. I mean, there's a lot more than what we just named. Rodney Dangerfield, just a random one that came to my head. Not even that I was into his movies or his stand-up.
Chevy Chase,
Bill Cosby,
also I think,
for that matter.
True. Yep.
I shouldn't say that.
Bill Murray.
Did he do stand-up?
Not stand-up. Oh no, I was just thinking of comedy actors.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he ever did stand-up. Right.
Anyway,
gotcha.
I think of good writing.
Okay.
Rom-coms don't really need good writing.
No. You just follow a script, basically.
Even the comedy is a little simpler, I feel like, a lot of times. Action movies don't need good writing. Horror movies definitely don't need good writing.
Right.
But I think comedy, if it's a good comedy, good jokes, writing, obviously. What?
Thrillers. Like suspense.
Yeah, like you're
I think those
following
do need
like a stressful plot.
Right. Or then when they have like plot twists and stuff,
Yeah. I'm a fan of it doesn't even have to be a thriller, but like a very dramatic movie. Like what's an example? And I like movies that like really evoke an emotion. So like one I watched recently was Roma. Are you familiar with that movie? It won an Oscar a couple years ago.
Mm-mm.
Took place in Mexico, and it was like this family that is
I think you told me about it.
Yeah, I did. I like stuff that, because I'm not, as we've talked about, I'm not a very emotional person. I'm currently working on trying to tap into my emotions on a better level. And that's why I think I like those like ultra emotional movies, because it forces it almost in the same sense of like the thrillers where people are getting their heads chopped off, or like Airplane where you're joking at the stupid shit, where it's like, yeah, of course this is sad. This child's getting taken away from their mother. Like this extreme sort of emotional stuff. or even like Holocaust stuff, like Schindler's List, for example.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
The Pianist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with that movie, but I mean, I've probably seen it, but that's not.
I highly recommend watching it. It's if you want to get emotional, that's a good one.
Was that one that we saw during German class? Was that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I didn't. I just watched it on my own, actually.
But yeah, I would say another like So wait, we're on thriller right now. I kind of took one on a tangent there. Thriller.
Yep, you're
Thriller's
good.
an interesting one because thriller is where it's like suspenseful, but you don't really need much violence. There might be some fights and stuff, but it's not. You're not coming for the violence.
You know what the thing I think that's more effective with a thriller actually is when you like hear the violence, but you don't actually see it, so you have to imagine it.
You know what I think of when I think of maybe a good thriller and the way that we're describing it is like a good mafia movie.
Oh yeah,
Where it's like there's violence in it, but it's not really about the violence. It's about why the violence is happening. Where it's like Goodfellas, for example. I can't think of the character's name, but now I can't think of his real name.
Or more modern series, even Jared, it would be Ozark.
Yeah,
that in a lot of ways.
I mean, this isn't
like
modern,
thriller.
but I just saw freaking. I mean, that's a TV show, by the way. But But that's that. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, where it's like a good mafia movie is a classic example I think of.
Sure.
Like I saw American Gangster recently, which obviously not a new movie also, but it's like it's violent, but it's not really about like you're not watching it for like shootouts, and you're watching it because it's like. And the good thing about those usually is it's usually very like. Conflicted protagonist. You're rooting for a protagonist, but they're not really a good person.
Right. Almost getting towards that kind of anti-hero type of story.
Honestly, Batman kind of is on the edge, like the newer Batmans. Not even just this one, but even the like the previous trilogy. I feel like it's violent, but it's. I guess as far as superhero movies go, well, this one actually got a little ridiculous with he's just bulletproof at this point. That's kind of annoying.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Impossible white man.
But yeah, he's definitely an impossible white man. But at least in the past ones, I feel like he was a little bit more vulnerable.
Right.
But physically vulnerable.
Yeah. Right.
But anyway, yeah.
Well, dude, I'm curious. What are some of your favorite genres? And then I want to get into actually popular genres around the world. But before we do that, what are like if you could give me your top 3, like what types of movies you enjoy watching the most?
When I was a kid, my answer would have 100% been like action movies. I mean, you mentioned Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, Rush Hour 2 specifically.
Bring back the memories.
Rush Hour 1 and 2 were huge in my childhood. Action movies, Mission Impossible 2 was huge in my childhood. The Bourne series, all the first 2 really, Identity and Supremacy. Is those the first 2?
I'm not sure.
Whatever the first 2 were huge in my life. I remember that Mini Cooper. When I was around some friends for 4th of July last year, I just popped in randomly in the middle of like a group of people watching. Watching one of the Bournes, and I was just like, oh yeah, is this the part where blah 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 happens and then this happens and then he gets made and this happens, and I just like quoted half and I was like, damn, I haven't seen this movie in years and I can just quote this freaking plot. So when I was a kid, I would say it was definitely action movies. That was one of my favorites. Comedies too, that was probably in there too.
Okay.
Now those were probably the big ones when I was a kid.
Okay.
But now
what about now though, Jared?
Now I would say I need, and this is almost a non-negotiable. I need some sort of strong emotional component a lot of times.
Okay.
I can still get down with a good old-fashioned. So okay, that's one of them. Like a thriller, a good like thriller.
Okay.
Where it's like some sort of plot where it's like it doesn't even have to be about like, oh, what did I watch recently? Oh, what was that? I watched a good one recently. It was on HBO. Let me pull up my HBO. I can see what it was.
There we go.
What was it? I don't remember what this movie was called at all. I'm so bad at I watch a movie, but I don't remember the name. But it was like a crimey, like a sort of a crime thing where it wasn't really. It had to do. Oh, Bradley Cooper was in it, and he was a carny. And he became a famous magician kind of guy.
Yeah, what?
And then he sort of came. Oh, that movie was so good.
Was that good?
It was so good, dude. Hold on, let's see if I can find it. I'm on my HBO
check it
now.
out.
Oh no, I can't find it. What the hell? Oh, Nightmare Alley.
Yep.
Where it's like that's not an action movie,
that.
but it's like that's like a thriller movie.
Okay,
and that was good.
Nice.
That was really good, and I like
thriller,
and I like a crime. So thriller.
Sure,
we're probably my number one now.
Okay. Just give me two.
Yeah. And then I'd have to go with like not even action, but like crime.
Okay. Like a detective type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's
nice.
why I like that about Batman. It has like a proper. Once again, I'm not spoiling anything because this is not just about like this Batman, but even the previous series has like a proper like trying to solve a crime. He works with the cops. Like it's like a cop movie.
Okay.
It's and this is not once again this is not new to this one. Like the commissioner has always been a main character and him but I like the crime aspect of it specifically. Which is why I think I get more into the Batmans than I do like the Marvel stuff, where it's not really like you're not really trying to solve anything. It's just like one obvious bad guy that you're trying to go after.
Right. Sure.
It's not like trying to like this was like this new Batman is like a part mob movie, part superhero movie. It's a straight up like a mob sort of plot. And so I'm a big fan of like crime movie like that, like that kind of crime movie.
Okay.
Like American Gangster is I like that movie a lot with Denzel Washington. Goodfellas, as I mentioned, Donnie Brasco.
Right.
That's a great movie with Johnny Depp.
So Jared, I think you might even be able to guess my top two.
Rock opera.
Rock Lobster. No. Not quite.
Your two. Comedy is one of them, I imagine.
Yep, that's number one.
That's number one. What are some comedy highlights for you?
Good question. Well, I mean, we mentioned Superbad. Mm-hmm. That's a really, really funny one.
Which I believe is a Judd Apatow number.
Might be. I think you might be right.
All those Seth Rogen sort of Jonah Hill pieces around that time.
What would Wolf of Wall Street be considered?
I'd imagine you put 40-Year-Old Virgin in there.
Yeah,
as a classic.
For sure.
I mean, that's a classic for people around our age.
That is. Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street. That's more like
But that has a lot lot of good comedic moments in it.
Yeah, it's
right?
like a drama movie. I'd call that probably drama.
True,
which I like.
True.
I guess I'd put that in there as probably one of my what I like, kind of between thriller and drama. Like those.
Right.
Like I feel like those are closely mixed, and the only but Wolf of Wall Street doesn't go towards thriller because there's nothing about the plot where you're like stressed or he might like die really. Other than he's taking a lot of drugs, drinks a lot. It's not like he's worried about getting killed like that, or like it's a crime plot, it's a white collar crime,
Sure.
So it's a different kind.
My number two genre is though, Jared.
What's that?
Documentaries, actually.
Oh.
I really enjoy me a good. Now I haven't seen any good ones lately.
You didn't see Tinder Swindler?
Oh, I did actually. Yeah, that's true. I did see
which
that.
I didn't like because I found the people to be way too gullible for me.
Too gullible for sure.
Is that the term or like what's the term? We're not gullible. Yeah, I guess gullible. They're way too gullible.
Gullible and vulnerable.
Yeah,
both.
but that's not the right word.
Sure.
Vulnerable is not. Right. Gullible 100% is the right word.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know how you can send tens of thousands.
Because I just have no sympathy for these people.
Right. Yeah. Me either. But yeah. Well, Jared, now that we've covered some of our favorite genres, I want to go through some most popular movie genres by country.
Can I say this real quick?
Yes.
Here's one that I think of. Can I give you one?
Okay. Yeah.
And this is popular. Korea, they love the violence.
Yep.
I've seen, and not even just the recent stuff with whatever that
Squid Games.
Yeah, thank you. Or like Train to Busan is another thing that's super popular, which I started watching and I'm like, I can't handle this. It's too late. I don't need this much violence.
It's just too much.
But I remember even back in the day, there were I can't remember what it's called. But there are some intense, just police sort of violent movies, and it's not even just Korea. To be fair, there's a whole bunch. There's some Thai ones that I. What's Raid? Do you remember Raid? The Raid
I never
series.
Saw it, no.
That's not. I know that's not Korean. Let me see. It was like a hyper violent. It was what that. I can't find it on the spot, but and it was like this police force going into I don't know if it was like a drug building or something or but it was just it was just hyper violence and it was cool and you're watching it for the acrobatics, but it was just like,
Sure.
Jesus, this is violent.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, dude, should we? So what I want to do is I want to tell you the country, and I'm going to give you 2 guesses to see if you can get the genre. First one, Jared, Brazil. What do you think is the number 1 genre in Brazil?
Action movies.
Very good, dude. Yes.
I believe I don't know why I need that. But
and with Brazilians, Jared, not only do they love Hollywood action movies, but there's a lot of local Brazilian action movies. One that's really, really popular.
But I think they're a big martial arts country too. Like almost.
Oh yeah, BJJ.
I feel like it might be almost in the same sense of like how this Raid movie that I'm talking about is so popular. Mm-hmm. Might be a similar vibe of. I think that's where my head was going. Where it's like the Raid movie. I need to figure out where this movie is from. Is popular because of like the martial arts that's involved with the gunplay and shit. And I could see that being popular in Brazil too.
Yeah, well, in Brazil, in 2010, one of their top domestic films is called Elite Squad 2. So that's even their own version of an action movie. Let's stick with South America here. How about Argentina? What do you think is their top genre, Jared?
Romance.
No.
Oh, man.
The 2 highest grossing films in Argentina so far have been Minions and the Ice Age movies. So actually,
kids movies,
family friendly. The genre that they say here is family friendly comedy. Yeah,
because I talked so much about this movie and raved about it. Raid is based in Indonesia.
There we go. Okay,
they're Indonesian.
Nice. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest because I talked so much about it. I'm like, I can't just let this lie like that. So kids movies, like animated movies.
They say family-friendly comedy is the genre where they put it.
That's boring.
Which I think that's a fair genre. How about Japan, Jared?
Boring.
What's number 1 in Japan?
In Japan, is it something violent?
Mm-hmm. It's not.
Not violent.
Well, it could be. It could be, but not always.
Okay.
Think about what's the most common thing out of Japan, dude.
Oh, like anime?
Yes, but anime, they also you can group anime in, like anime is its own thing, of course, but you can group that under the umbrella of fantasy.
Okay, so like
fantasy
superhero movies
is like huge. Well, I think just fantasy.
Oh, just
fantasy isn't necessarily superhero. Like some superhero movies, I think would
like
even
like Harry
Frozen.
Potter or something like that, or like I got you
exactly.
I got you.
So fantasy.
Oh, did you know they're coming out with a new spin-off Harry Potter movie?
Really?
Well, they're not. None of the Harry Potter characters. Oh, it's like young Dumbledore. That's not what it's called.
Okay.
But I believe it's Jude Law as Dumbledore. I believe it's Jude Law if I remember correctly. I'm not going to look that up.
Okay.
I'm okay lying about getting that wrong.
That's fair.
But I believe it is Jude Law. But it is like a young Dumbledore.
Sure.
I'm kind of over.
All right. Next one. To be honest with you. Next one. Germany.
Oh, I know this. It's like crime.
No.
Oh, isn't that
actually
one of their
the top grossing
TV
films?
Okay, go ahead.
In Germany are action or adventure.
That was pretty
close. Movies
close.
like The Revenant, Deadpool, Dawn of Justice, Warcraft. Those are all super popular movies in Germany.
My guess is because I know that like those daytime crime shows are super popular, like Tatort or whatever.
TV shows probably are way different. Exactly. Tatort is huge in Germany. That's
and that's not the only one. That's just the one that comes to my head.
Right. Good. What about Italy? What kind of movie do you think the Italians like to watch, Jared?
I'm gonna guess. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I know the answer. At least I think I do. I think it's comedy.
What is it? Yes. Very good, sir. Very good. How about France?
Should I just go with the cliche?
What's the cliche?
Romance?
No.
Okay.
It's actually comedy.
Okay.
Comedy as well in France.
You know,
that surprised
my
me
actually second guess would not have been comedy. I don't find the French to be a funny group. My second guess would have been like crime, like sort of like detective-y kind of crime. I could see them getting into, like somewing like a film noir. Maybe it's just because noir's in the title.
It could be. Yeah, it could be.
And I'm an idiot. I don't know. So simple my mind works.
How about our brothers from down under, Australia?
I was expecting some level of black people at first when you said brothers like that. I was like, where's this going? Australia. Comedy.
No.
Okay.
Action.
Okay.
And you know what is the top most popular film in Australia?
Mission Impossible 2.
Lord of the Rings, which I would think that'd be New Zealand because they filmed it in New Zealand.
Is that an action
New
movie?
Zealand, it's fantasy / action.
I don't think
And there's
Australians
awesome
have.
battles
I don't
and
think
shit.
Australians have that sort of animosity towards New Zealand, like we do towards
Not like
Ohio or
Americans and
something like
Brits,
that.
right? Or Michiganders and Ohioans. That's true.
Maybe
That's true.
they do. I don't know. I just haven't heard about it like that.
Right. Well, Jared, now that we've talked about some of the different, like, most favorite genres in different countries, I want to take our scope a little bit bigger and actually talk about over the world. So in the world, Jared, the most popular genres, 19 different countries that would be comedy. There are 17 countries where it's adventure films, 15 countries where they love their biographies, 13 action films, 11 crime, and then number 5, the lowest most popular genre is actually animated. And guess what genres have had no representation as the most popular throughout the world, Jared?
Porn.
I mean, that's number 1 everywhere. No.
That's probably true.
Horror movies. There's no top horror genre in any country. Believe it or not, science fiction.
Horror movies.
I thought
horror movies, by the way, are rarely, in my opinion, rarely good and original.
Yeah, I agree with that. Science fiction is another one that has 0, and also documentaries.
Science fiction
0.
surprising.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think that could probably have some overlap with like fantasy.
That's true.
You know, I think my problem with comedy, because I love comedy. I love to laugh. I've been laughing all day today at some podcasts that I've been listening to, but I don't think I'm a fan of the physical comedy. I don't think the physical comedy does it for me. I don't.
That's
like
fair.
watching.
You mean like the slapstick type of
Not
stuff?
even. It doesn't have to be just over the top like that, but just any sort of physical comedy, where it's like you're relying on, like, having to see it to like, you know, the visuals of it is what's funny. Whether it be like us talking about Will Ferrell running down the street with his dick out, or like Will Smith in all the funny Wills,
Right.
or Will Smith in Hitch, where he eats all the shellfish and he has the allergic reaction.
Has the allergic reaction.
You know, all
yeah.
that stuff is funny, and I understand. I'm not saying it's not funny, but that's not the sort of comedy that I sort of reach out for, I would say.
Sure. Okay.
I like more just comedy
fair.
via the words.
Right. Yeah. Well, as your dad says, it's in the words, Jake.
Hidden in the words, yeah. So
It's
maybe I'm
hidden in
trying
the
to prove
words.
something.
That's
Like,
right.
Dad.
That's
Although I
right.
don't read it. I never read it. It's all I don't read that much
Turn on
anymore.
those subtitles, Jared.
I'm just
then
listening.
You can read and watch.
I'm a subtitle person. I've been converted
too.
within the past couple of years. I'm
Dude,
a
once you
subtitle
start
person.
eating chips and try to watch something without subtitles, good luck, fam. Good luck.
And it's like, I don't know. It's just like not. It's like why you don't miss anything with the subtitles.
Right. No, I enjoy them. Although I will say I won't watch stand-up comedy with
Yes.
subtitles.
Well, yeah, dude, I actually had
That
to
doesn't
specifically turn them off during Big Mouth because I'm like, the jokes are getting ruined.
yep.
I'm reading ahead
Yep.
and seeing the
Yep.
jokes being the punchlines.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
during comedy, I do the same thing. During comedy, you got to turn it off.
Yep.
Else you're going to read ahead and
For
see
sure.
the punchline.
Exactly. Well, Jared, I wanted to end our episode today by talking about and giving a couple foreign film recommendations to our listeners.
By the way, you never told me your favorite movies growing up. Did you have
oh,
movies that
well,
you returned to?
well, when I was younger, a favorite comedy movie that I occasionally will rewatch is Happy Gilmore and also Billy Madison. Both are Adam Sandler movies.
You know what I
else
liked as a kid?
Mm-hmm. What?
That and it still is a good go-to are the coming of age movies of like the teenagers from the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's
a good one.
Those kind of movies I like a lot. But they,
you know
they
what
don't really
movie
make
I
those
think I've
anymore.
watched the
Maybe they
most
do.
though from like childhood to now and rewatched it?
What's that?
It's actually the Lord of the Rings movies.
Interesting.
I have seen those movies tons and tons of times.
Never seen them. I've seen like part of one at like a birthday party in elementary school. All I know
Okay.
was Orlando Bloom was in it shooting.
Yep. Legolas.
Although
That's
I
right.
have HBO now, and
We might have to do a Lord of the Rings binge and do like a marathon. Watch a couple of them in a day.
that was another movie that they're all on HBO, which I now have, and I started watching it a
Right.
couple weeks ago, and it was too late to be fair. It was like 11.
That's fair.
11:30.
Yeah, no, you can't
And
start those at
as
11
as I was
11:30.
starting it, and it was just like, you know, obviously it starts off super slow. I'm just like, I can't
Yep.
do this right now. I'm gonna fall
Yep.
asleep
No,
in the
that's
first
a good-
30
yeah.
minutes of this fucking movie,
Oh,
and I'm
for
not
sure,
even
for sure.
they even get into the good part.
Right, without a doubt, for sure.
So I got to start earlier on that one.
Definitely.
That was on me.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, Jared, I want to talk about a couple foreign films here that I would recommend, and a few that I want to watch as well. But one that I would actually recommend all of our listeners, even though it's kind of a fucked up movie, but it's still an interesting watch, is one that we had to watch way back in the day in college, Das Weiße Band by, I believe that's Michael Haneke, if I remember correctly.
That's the one you start with? That's what you think is the first one? Okay. Why do you think people should watch that?
Because I don't know, it makes you think. That one in a weird way is also kind of like a crime, like detective, because you're trying to figure out, who is the like villain.
I don't really remember the plot that well.
Yep, I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to spoil it.
Are they all going to be German?
You mentioned one. What?
Are they all going to be German?
No, no. But you mentioned one that's also on this list I have here, which I haven't seen yet. But no, Roma.
Oh.
Roma is on this list.
Well, Roma's good. That won an Oscar, as I mentioned a couple of years ago. Throw Raid on the list. If you're into martial arts mixed with gunplay, that movie is the shit. It is dope, but it is not for the faint of heart. They do not spare you the gore.
Okay. Here's one that I saw on the plane, but I think this goes above just plane watching movies. It's a German movie called Gegen die Wand. And the English title of the movie I looked it up is called Head On,
Wall?
Against the Wall. Yeah, if you were to translate that. But this is it's kind of an intense movie, and it's about a German-Turkish couple, and they just have a lot of clashes because they have very different lifestyles.
I'd be into that. I'd be into that.
Yeah. We should watch that one together. Gegen die Wand, and I believe it's on Amazon. So we might. I've got Prime. I think you have Prime. We could watch it sometime.
I'm into that kind of thing.
But
dysfunctional
it's
relationships.
A cool one. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that is on Prime. Yeah, recently I'm going to add it to my list. Oh, you have to rent it, but
Dude,
it's
let's
only
watch
$3.
it one of these days. I'll give you one. I'll Venmo you $150. I'll pay my share.
Very nice, very nice.
But that's one that I have on here. One that I actually haven't seen, but I've heard a lot about is obviously Parasite, which is a Korean
I saw that.
foreign film that won all sorts of awards. Is it pretty good?
Yeah, it's good.
Worth a watch?
It's about actually similar to plot's not the same, but similar theme to Squid Game of like of a class warfare.
Okay.
Because it's about the like the help sort of slowly essentially the help eventually murders their employers.
Gotcha.
And it's like someone's living in they have like someone living in their wall or some shit.
Sure.
But it's essentially it's all but it, like the rich people are fairly like oblivious to the fact that like once everyone goes to sleep, like they all hang out in the living room and like have have a good time, like the help does, and then eventually one of them goes off the rails and kills the family.
Goes rogue.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. It's a really trippy but worthwhile watch especially if you're trying to learn the German language. Is Labyrinth, or the English title is Run Lola Run.
That's a classic at this point.
Yeah. Like if you didn't watch that in German class, please send us an email at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com because I need to have a direct conversation with your German teacher.
That movie came up at least 3 to 5 times over my...
Oh, for sure.
Probably more than that now that I think about it.
Yep.
That movie came up on multiple occasions in my German learning experience. I mean, granted, it was a long German learning experience, but it came up multiple times.
Yep. And it's a classic.
It's a good movie.
It really
is. It's not a bad movie.
Die Tasche.
Yeah.
Die Tasche.
For some reason, when I think of that movie, I always think of that glass pane.
Oh,
that was part of it. That was one of the reruns.
Yep. I love it. I love it when I believe Mani is the name of the male character, and he calls the Italians spaghetti eaters. Du scheiß spaghetti fresser. That's like hilarious.
And the thing is, like, they didn't make it as a educational film. How did it become like this quintessential German educational film?
Dude, that's how these things just work. Like, it was funny. One of the reasons why
it's
the Beatles...
repeat. That's probably part of what helps. You're seeing the
repeat.
Say the same thing essentially 3 times.
Right. And then see how the different kind of stories interject
obviously
and change.
They didn't plan it. Oh, this will be great for schools all around the world.
Right. Yeah. But that's kind of how it works, though, sometimes.
Yeah.
But one movie that I have on my list, and this will be my last foreign film for today, is called Pan's Labyrinth. And I believe Guillermo del Toro actually was the director for this one. And so here's the story, Jared. It's set in post-war Spain. Ophelia is a young girl with an active imagination who's struggling to adapt to her new life with her new stepfather. Part fantasy, part realism, Pan's Labyrinth is not what you'd expect. You're transported with Ophelia to a mythical land of her own making that is magical, terrifying, poignant, and unforgettable. The movie will stay with you for weeks after you watch it. And if you look at the cover of the movie, Jared, it's like this
What's
weird
it called
creature.
again? Pan's Labyrinth?
Pan's Labyrinth. And it's like this weird creature with like his hands up and there's eyeballs in the middle of the palms of his hands. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so I've seen this creature before. I've never seen this movie. This doesn't seem like something I would want to watch. I don't like creepy stuff like that.
It looks creepy, but it might be pretty good. I don't know. I think they made it into a video game, it looks like, as well.
I've definitely seen that character with the eyes on the hands.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Kind of looks like a character from, what is that, Little Monsters? Is that what that TV show is called?
Oh, yeah, dude. It does. It does, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Are there any like foreign films that come to your mind, Jared, where like either you want to watch or you saw before and you're like, yes, like you have to see that?
I mean, not really that I can think of. I mean, you named some good ones that I saw. I definitely saw Real Monsters is what it's called. I saw Parasite. I saw Lola Rent, obviously. I've seen some of the other ones you mentioned. I can't remember. I also threw in Raid in there, which was a good action movie. Other than that, I mean, nothing that I can think of off the top of my head that's really a standout. I don't know.
All right. Well, folks, hit us up at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com if you have any other foreign film recommendations for us.
Can I give you throw one out?
Yeah.
No, I realize.
Give us a bonus one.
I'll figure out what it is.
Please don't tell me you forgot the name of it.
I never knew what the name was, but I can get it real quick, very quickly, because it's The Untouchables.
Oh, we watched that.
I don't watch. You watched it and I watched it. We talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
That is a good
one. We watched it together.
Not together. We
watched
both saw it at some point in our lives.
So I was like, no, we didn't. And I was like, well, we did, but not. Anyway, that was a great movie. That was like a drama movie. I guess.
But you have to see the French one. I think I watched like half of it with like Kevin Hart and Brandon Cranston.
I never saw that one. Bryan
It's not
Cranston.
worth it. Thank you. Watch the original one.
Yeah.
It's way better.
The Untouchables, it was heartwarming.
Yeah.
Omar Sy is a great actor. I like him in the TV show Lupin as well, which is a great TV show. That was a good movie. Heartwarming.
Yeah, for sure. So check that out then. Quite a few different foreign films to watch. Let us know which ones you like, or if you have any recommendations at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. You can slide into those DMs on Twitter, untranslatable1, the number one. Check us out on YouTube and Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. And please, 5-star reviews on iTunes. Let us know how we can make this podcast better for you. So as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, dziękujemy, muchas gracias, shisha, and do svidania.
I'm looking at this Pan's Labyrinth movie.
Dude, it looks trippy. It looks scary.
One of the characters, this guy named Jones, is cast as Pale Man. There you go.
What part will you be reading for today, sir? Pale Man?
I mean, just based off this picture, it certainly seems to fit.
Is that the Ice character? Is that Pale Man?
Must be. That's the main. That's the. Yeah, it looks like.
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
It looks like.